We're going to start this over from the beginning. We had a bit of a sound glitch, so we're going to give this another go. So if you do join us in the comments, just let us know if you can hear us, guys.
Yeah.
Hello, once again, we're back. So we started talking about the TnB race that happened on Friday, and started getting into the meat of it, and then we realized that no one could hear us. So yeah, just we can go over it again. Just you can summarize if you want. What started with obviously started with a wet race that went to dry, went back to wet. Instead of all the crazy incidents happening at the beginning of the race, they happened at the end of the race, and they involved the championship leader and pretty much all the contenders. So yeah, do you wanna give us a rundown again? What happened at the end there?
So we had Matt was the first one out. He bended into turn one, lost the rear bit and slid into the wall, and then that was followed by Wazzy. I think it was a few laps later, who I think had wing damage, something like that, and tried to go back into the pits and misjudged his braking point and straight lined it. So that was a laugh and a half. And then it was myself, who were battling a bit too closely with Dirk, and I touched the curb. And instead of taking Dirk out, I swerved to the right and took myself out. So doesn't really help.
Was also a championship decider. Just hello Rob, thanks for joining us again. How's the sound? Let us know. Can you hear us? Is it clear? Obviously, then the championship, Matt, that 226 points remains unchanged because he retired. Not Kimmy, 175. Not Maverick, 172. The reserve driver, who's driven for multiple manufacturers. He's sitting third in the championship. Nice work, boys. And then Poingi's 161, RZDV in fifth, 141. And then in the constructors, it started off as a joke in the beginning of the season, as happened. Renault was the only team that we were unable to fill, and Matt went into the championship without a teammate. Renault managed to win the championship.
Look, he did have a good teammate to join him there. It's not like Force didn't really get Renault bad points, you know what I'm trying to say. You know, he did, I think he got over 100 points in the drivers, so that's a good load of points for Renault.
Hey Rob, just saying you can hear us now, so that's at least some good news. And then obviously constructors maybe decided for Renault, but still all to play there for second place in the constructors. It's really close. Basically, Red Bull, Mercedes-Benz, McLaren, and Alfa Romeo can all take that second spot. So that's the only championship really left to play for. Hopefully the guys show up in their numbers and can really throw away a second place there.
Yeah.
Red Bull's also been one of those unstable one-man teams.
Did he actually have a teammate this entire season?
Well,
I think
if I remember correctly, his teammate showed up once, and the time he showed up, Kimi did not. So, no, Kimi did, but he found his way to the commentary box.
Yes, I remember this.
Yes.
Kimi
Kimi found his way to the commentary box the only time his actual teammate showed up. So, hope that doesn't. That's not how he feels about his teammate. Well, I'm going to the comms box. Then, what's next? Go on to F1. Formula One, boys. It's been a while. we didn't have a podcast last week, so we didn't speak about the F1, and then we had a bit of a break this week, so it feels like it's been a while since the Tuscan Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Over in Mugello, stay memory now, and if anything I've read is really anything to go by, I think that Mugello was a one-time thing. So I hope everyone enjoyed it. I don't think we're going to see 20 F1 cars going around Mugello again. Was an interesting race. Obviously the Mercs did what they did best. They performed. Looking at the championship, I was looking at this earlier. Just we were talking about this just before the podcast got going, and Sebastian Vettel's not in the top 10. This is bad because I've only got stats here for the top 10. So I'm like, wait, but where's Vettel? So yeah, I don't know where I'd find that. I'm not going onto the F1 site to go look where Vettel is. I shouldn't need to look that far down. So I'll read you the championship that I do have. Not going to put it up on screen tonight, but I'll just go through it real quick. Obviously Hamilton leads the championship, 190 points now. Leads from his teammate Bottas, 135. That gap grows. Then third in the championship for Verstappen, fourth Norris, fifth Albon. Then Stroll in sixth, Ricciardo seventh, Leclerc eighth, Perez ninth, and Gasly. That makes up your top 10. No Sebastian Vettel. No Haas drivers. No Alfa Romeos. Quite a mix-up from the top 3 that we've come to know. Ferrari nowhere. What do we expect next week? We're going to Sochi.
This weekend. Well, they are expecting actually some improvements. Some parts are arriving for this race. So they are saying that it might be better, but they're not expecting a solution overnight.
Which means they're not expecting to be anywhere near the top 5.
Yeah.
Not expecting any miracles, but probably just trying to make that car more drivable, really.
Yeah, I think so.
In the constructors, it's a rather harsh one. Mercedes-Benz lead the championship, 325 points from Red Bull, 173. And then third in the championship, McLaren, 106 points, Racing Point fourth, Renault fifth, Ferrari sixth, just ahead of AlphaTauri. And then your final 3 very low on the points. Alfa Romeo just scoring 4 points this season, Haas with the 1, and Williams no luck just yet. Is that who I think it is? Yes. It is. We've just been joined by Johan. He'll join the podcast as soon as he realizes. There we go.
I'm here.
There we go. Welcome, Johan.
Hello, Johan.
Sorry, I'm a bit late.
You're not that late. We had to start the podcast the second time because for the first 5 minutes no one could hear us. So so this is the second go at it. And we were just busy talking about Formula 1. Went through the drivers' points, and we were just talking about the constructors. Ferrari in 6th place, just ahead of AlphaTauri, and then those three teams at the bottom, probably the teams that need the points the most. Just 4 points for Alpha, 1 point for Haas, and no luck for Williams just yet.
Nothing for Williams.
Russell got awfully close the other day. Really want to see a Williams in the points soon. They need it.
They do.
Especially where we're going now. Uncharted territory, new owners.
And I've got to say, it's Racing Point rebranding, you understand it. It's Aston Martin. Renault rebranding, you understand it. It's a brand they're using in endurance, and they they're pushing that brand. But I've just got to say the company that bought Williams, they have no motorsport interests.
Just to say, no racing pedigree, nothing behind you.
It's not like it's an American company, but they have a team in Indy, or they have no motorsport anything. This is the first time they delving into motorsport, so it's going to be interesting what they do with that team, what management they're going to put where, who they're going to keep, who they're not. But I don't think we'll see too many changes till the end of the season, but hopefully next season things will start to improve for Williams. And I wonder if it's simply going to be called Williams, or if Williams will just remain part of a bigger name.
I think it'll just be part of a bigger name.
So it'll be called something Williams Racing.
Yeah.
So actually just remembered, we've got we started talking about the TnB race, and then we went through it quite quickly actually. But since we've got Johan here, Johan, would you like to try and explain the end of the race? What happened?
What did not happen?
Was it planned? Was it like, you know what, Matt deserves this, we're all just gonna retire too? What? I have no idea.
I had my doubts, suspicions. I asked a few questions. Because at the end of the day, the championship was already won. Also with his closest rivals retiring during the race. So there was nothing really to race for, but why would he do that with only 2 laps to go? So honestly, I think he got caught out on the curb. He lost his concentration. At the end of the day, it was already nothing needed to be done, so he was safe either way, so he could push and do things. So I don't think it was done on purpose. That's not Matt for you.
Yeah, I know.
It was an interesting end to a.
And Renault dominated. There was no way about that. No two ways about that.
Then obviously we've got 1 round to go of the current season, and that's it's a round that we'll be redoing because it didn't go so well the first time. The safety car lost its mind and parked on the pit straight. If I remember correctly, it usually doesn't park on the pit straight. So yeah, we need to redo that, and then we'll be heading into F1 2020 season 2. It's gonna be quite a few changes.
Yep.
We're gonna be reverting back to our final season of F1 2019. Basically, we're gonna be using the multiplayer cars. We're going to be running teams of 3 drivers, which I believe gives you an allotment of 18. We've got a couple of reserve drivers lined up. And
there's one small difference this season. So we actually, instead of 6 teams, we have 7 teams. At the moment, one team has got 2 and one team has got 1 driver, but he's happy to go on his own. So most of the reserves probably will join up there. So I understand why he doesn't want to merge with a team of 2 drivers. It was there before, it didn't work, so I don't blame him.
Yeah,
I feel like
I don't need to mention names, but I think I know who you we haven't spoken about this, but for some reason I think I know who you're talking about. But guys are getting involved.
All 7 teams confirmed, team names confirmed, and liveries submitted, so liveries also confirmed.
We'll what we'll do is podcast the week before, so that Tuesday before round 1 we'll get all those liveries up on screen for you and just go through the teams one by one and the drivers, and we've got screenshots of all those liveries, right? So
yeah,
just we'll get those up on that podcast just before season 2 begins, and just delve a little bit into the season and what the teams look like and who they're made up of, and hopefully that team of 2 and the other one can also find some teammates.
But a lot of reserves for season 2. I think this is easily our biggest reserves list so far for season.
I see we've lost all the Dirk to reserves now.
Dirk actually, I don't know, most guys might not know, but Dirk also is playing rugby. Like I play action cricket, Dirk play rugby. And he received his schedule, and most of his games he's going to play on Friday night. He's going to clash with the racing.
Oh.
So he'd rather want to be reserved so he can drive on the nights that he doesn't play.
Yeah.
But he can't commit fully for his season. But he also don't want to go out completely, hence he wants the reserve spot.
No, understandable.
So just keep in shape, do a bit of sport, and then still do the racing. So it's just a balancing act. It's just unfortunate it happens where they will clash.
Yeah.
So coincidentally, so that team is also down to 2. So we got 2 teams then of 2 drivers and 1 team of 1.
I had a look earlier at the list of reserves. It's quite a lengthy one. So if 2 or 3 of those reserves are available on any given Friday night, I think we should have a healthy looking grid for a majority of the season.
Well, as it is, there's 17 drivers, so there's definitely 3 spots available for reserves. And given your nights, there's going to be a few drivers not available, so there will definitely be spots available for reserves to pop in. And I can tell you, one of our reserves, or one of our most familiar, or the one that's been around the most in season 1, he's also giving his livery a decent thought. So it's not just something that he's going to wait together a spook and plug Aussie style. He's going to do a proper livery himself for his car, because reserves don't need to look the same as the teams they drive for. I would prefer reserves having their own livery so they can stand out, so that everybody in the stream can also see who's the renter driver, call them that.
Renter driver.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what the reserves are. The team that's short on the night, they're actually going to negotiate with reserves. That's exactly what happened when we did the multiplayer car season the last time in 2019.
So
The teams that were short would actually then go to reserves and negotiate with him to come drive for them that night.
So will we have a reserve livery, or will the guys have to use the livery of the car they're driving?
The reserves can do their own liveries.
Okay.
They don't need to match the team they drive for.
Okay. All right.
But that's just for the reserves. To be honest, the reserves is not restricted to one livery either. As long as the idea is for reserves to stand out, so everybody can see who's reserves.
Okay.
But of course, it must be communicated beforehand for which team they race, so that that team can be credited with a point that those reserves score on the night.
Any I believe Matt will not be returning for season 2.
Correct.
So we won't have a reigning champion on the grid. So that was his 3rd title. Someone else will get a chance next time. Who's next on the list for a TnB title?
If a certain person that's in this podcast tonight can pull finger and don't get his term across him, he's due one. He's way overdue.
There's 4 people in this podcast, and there's only one in here that's won a Formula 1 race in a TnB league format, and multiple ones, and never taken it. I don't think the other 3 of us are thinking of taking a title. So yeah, clearly it's you, Mona. It's this is the season. This is the season.
Devin will compete for the title of talking the most crap in the comments box.
Going to
Yeah, let's go and actually drive on Friday.
the basically that team is I'm Mona and myself. We will be in a team, as well as another one of our hosts here on the podcast. He's made 2 appearances, I think. Was he?
Yeah, 2.
Not Kimmy, so he'll be the 3rd one. That's going to be at not Aston Martin Racing, which is kind of ironic, because that's what Aston Martin Racing is. It's not Aston Martin.
Because they're not actually
think about
They
it.
don't supply an engine or anything, so
Think about it. That Aston Martin that Sebastian Vettel's going to be driving next year, it's as much an Aston Martin as the Red Bull is for saying Aston Martin.
yeah.
Yeah, there's that's how much Aston Martin's going to be in that car. So technically, it is not Aston Martin Racing. So we've actually got the I think we've got the correct name
Power
there.
unit's not even going to be Aston.
No, there's no Aston Martin gearbox. There's no Aston Martin electronics. There's nothing there to say that car is as a result of Aston
Still
Martin.
going to be the skeleton of a pink Merc.
Aston Martin is it's purely branding, really. It's they're not going to build anything for that car. Well, not for now. I'd be surprised. Maybe 2022 comes around and Aston Martin turn around and say, well, we'll build a motor now, or who knows.
So doesn't Aston Martin get their motors from Mercedes in their own cars? Or do they build it? No, I can't remember.
They build their own.
They built their own. Because remember the GT races as well, that is still Aston Martin. But for F1, I don't, like Jonathan just said, it's not going to be them supplying their own stuff. It's pretty much going to be Merc for now. So I see maybe after this whole big regulation change for 2022, then you might see things changing.
And then obviously back to F1 this week. We go to Russia. I believe we're gonna have some more spectators. We had a few in Mugello here and there, but I think when we get to Russia we're gonna have a couple of thousand, so things will start to look a little bit normal. And I believe every Grand Prix we go to after that is going to have a slightly bigger crowd. So I think Imola has been confirmed for 17,000. So so yeah, the crowds are going to get bigger as the season goes on. But first things first.
Unless they were going to the UK, because their sporting events is actually going in the opposite direction. No crowds allowed.
Yeah, unfortunately in over in Britain it's going in the other direction. And London looks to be going the way of Melbourne.
Yes, pretty much.
Where they wouldn't lock down the entire country, but that particular part of the country. And it's the capital. So yeah, it could get complicated on that side of the world. Who thought, well, when we came into 2020, the Brits were talking about something very different, and now everyone's forgotten about that. Well, at least on this side of the world. So RZDV making a grand prediction for season 2. He says he's going to call it right now. Everyone needs to bring their A game.
Yeah.
Because he says he's taking his second title.
Okay, hang on.
You're gonna go read the comment section.
Positive?
You're gonna go read the comment section because you don't believe me.
Oh well, it's like we're getting hailstorms and thunderstorms and snowstorms all in one.
What? Because Rob said, guess what, guys? I'm going for this title.
Rob made a positive comment. He didn't say his cock.
Okay, I may have misread. It says I'm not winning the title. Poop emoji.
Okay, that's not okay. That's
Followed by the poop emoji. So yeah, that's definitely Rob. That's just like the. Oh yeah, no, I'm not winning the title. I read that as get ready, guys. I'm taking the title. I don't know how. Maybe I'm concussed. Would explain a lot. So also to everyone who's followed the Twitch channel in the past 3 weeks, thank you. I haven't been on here for a while, and I see I don't recognize the names though, so I do apologize.
Mm.
But other goings on in motorsport, obviously over the weekend a lot went on. We didn't have F1, we had MotoGP. What a race that was. I think that was your 6th winner of the season. That was Maverick Vinales. Also the first... Do you know we hadn't had a Spanish winner and we got a full Spanish podium?
Okay. Can I just quickly... Who won the bikes? Who won MotoGP?
It was Maverick Vinales.
Okay.
Followed
Who
by
won
Joan...
Nice race at TnB.
Maverick.
Exactly. So it's a Maverick weekend.
The vet did win last week also. That's just
No, but I'm talking about, if you talk about Maverick Vinales and not
Yeah.
Maverick, it's been a Maverick weekend.
I think we're gonna get a few
And
of
what
them.
a weekend it was. Of course, 24-hour Le Mans as well.
Oh,
So over with the GP, Maverick won that. We actually watched before the race and yeah, the commentators in the studio, they weren't being very nice to Maverick.
oh boy.
It was he was starting on pole and basically, what did the one commentator say?
He said that it would be impossible for him to retain his lead after one lap.
Yes.
Also,
So he said, "Do I think Maverick will be there after lap 1? No."
No, I don't think so.
And yeah, well, maybe he watched the broadcast and that's exactly what he needed, because he won the race and he did it properly.
No, he did.
So he obviously won from Juan
Oh, you
Mir,
silence your critics.
the
Do it like, just
Suzuki
like that. Stop.
the Suzuki rider, and then another Spaniard in 3rd place, Paul Espargaro. Actually, forget he's Spanish every now and then. And then Fabio Quartararo in 4th. He
Oof, there's a bit of controversy there. Eh?
how so?
Okay, because he said that he didn't get a warning or didn't receive a warning for track limits. But on the previous lap, you can see Jean Mir, okay, do exactly the same corner cut, where he timed the green section of the final corner. So there's a little... I don't think this is going to rest. I think we can still see some politics on the next round. So
the way I understand it, I think you can hit the green strip 3 times.
yeah,
Once you've hit it 3 times, you get a warning. Once you've got a warning, you can hit that strip another 2 times. The 3rd time you hit it, it's immediately a penalty. So you either do your long lap, or if it's right at the end of the race and you don't do your long lap, then they give you, I think it's 3 seconds. There was a guy in the Moto 2, or I think it was the Moto 2. He didn't do his long lap, and they added 3 seconds to his. So maybe he did also hit the green, but he was still within his warnings. I don't know. Still controversy to come. So maybe those results aren't quite confirmed. Danilo Petrucci finishing 10th, not having the best time on the Ducati. Sarko 11th, Rins, Smith, and that was all your finishes. Just 13 finishes.
and Dobby still leads the championship after finishing 9th.
It's crazy. I'm actually gonna try and get that on my screen, because that's the MotoGP Championship. It's being led by Andrea Dovizioso on 84 points. 2nd place, Fabio Quartararo on 83 points. Then 3rd place, Maverick Vinales on 83 points. Then 4th place, Joan Mir on 80 points. So 4 points cover the top 4. That's insane. How did Joan Mir get to 4th place? That's consistency.
I don't know.
That's how consistency can creep up on you. I expect the others, but even Maverick Vinales, everyone says he's been having a terrible season. He's right up there. He's literally 1 point off the championship lead. So even Rossi not too far away. Rossi in 9th place, 26 points off the championship lead. So
sadly, Binder was in 8th before his crash, so on the championship standings. So
yeah, he's obviously now slipped down that slipped out of that top 9. So I don't have him on that screen, but it's still very close. And I mean, all he needs is another few of those podiums. He'll be back. I mean, the gap's not that big, so get some consistent performances and you can still get back to the top of the championship.
I think he just needs a few consistent top 5s and he'll be back there.
Just consistent points finishes. And
Yeah.
I think the last race he won't be too happy with it. I think he was on the right bike. I think everything was we've lost. There we go. He's back.
Yeah, just went dead quietly.
So yeah, he was on the right bike to win that race. I think he could have beaten Maverick actually. His pace at the beginning, he was quicker than Paul, his teammate. So yeah, I think Brad fell, but that was a race he could have won. That could have been his second race victory, and he sort of emulated his brother earlier on in the day, who had one heck of a start again. He just does it every single race. It's like it's almost expected of him. He's gonna qualify somewhere bad, and then 5 to 10 spots in the first lap. It's almost expected of him, and he did it again. Started in it was 16th, I believe, and yeah, he got his. I think the highest place I saw him was in second. No, he briefly led. But also having a fall, quite a violent high side. So he hobbled off a little bit. I think that one took a bit out of him. But Darren Binder is going to a more established team next year, staying in Moto 3. Unfortunately, would have loved to seen him move up to Moto 2, but I suppose he hasn't done enough. Just the 2 podiums in his 98 race starts, something like that. But he's going to the Petronas Honda team next year. So it's the closest you get to a factory ride in Moto 3. And like we were talking, Muna, on Sunday, Petronas has got links to teams in Moto 2 and MotoGP. So if he plays his cards right at Petronas Honda, that team could lead him to a Petronas Yamaha ride one day. So it's to take the opportunity with both hands. Let's see, what is Rob? Rob's our only live spectator. Everybody else watches this on YouTube later. But what are you talking about, Rob? Sochi result. Oh, okay. He knows I'm going to ask for a prediction. He's already answered. He knows the podcast too well. Okay, so Sochi prediction. Oh wow, that's not very creative of you, Rob. I could have pulled that one out. And then clearly you're a Bottas fan. So prediction: Bottas, Hamilton.
For the last 5 years running, so obviously
Bottas.
it would be stupid to bet against Merck for this year.
Hamilton, Bottas, followed by Sainz.
Well,
That is actually a brilliant prediction.
I'd love that. But Rob's prediction is Verstappen for third.
Lando Bot for third.
Who? Lando
Bot.
Lando Norris for third. I don't know what. We saw the Renaults perform really well when they got some tracks with some straights on them. Do you think they could be a surprise in Sochi?
Well, if Danny Kvyat is behind Vettel,
The torpedo.
I still can't get over the fact that Vettel's not in the top 10 of the Drivers' Championship. It's just, it doesn't sound right. Obviously, what else happened? What else happened over the weekend? There was this little event over in France where they raced for like a whole day. What's that? What's that called? That little event?
Just a little event. Nothing big.
It's a little. Well, no one showed up.
No one's allowed to.
The marshals showed up.
See, just looking at your top speeds for the Le Mans series. Top speed for the LMP1. You guys want to give a guess?
It's the Rebellion at 347, I think.
347.8 kilometers an
Yeah.
hour. LMP2, the Eurasia Motorsport team. I believe that wasn't the team run by McLaren, was it? No, that's the Eurasia. There was
Yeah, it's a 338.
338, and then in the GTE Pro, the Aston Martin, not Aston Martin. This is the actual Aston Martin. 300. I hope we go faster than 305. Otherwise,
Okay.
we're gonna have serious issues. I hope we don't have this engine. Okay, then the GTE was a Ferrari. Might know the surname, Fisichella, and that was 303.9. Nothing slow about that. 347 in an LMP1. Imagine they took that chicane out.
Oh wow. Imagine that backstretch, you are full straight
Yeah, but they would hit the limiter.
That's the thing.
They would hit the limiter.
I don't even think the
Because
cars
yeah,
are
imagine
designed
that
for
you
that.
no limit, no chicane. You can run
But
lots of speed.
when did that chicane come in? That chicane came in.
It came in after a team decided that their car was useless on corners. What was true story? They actually ran a low downforce type of setup, so they resorted to achieving most of their time on the straight, and they actually clocked the highest speed, which was 421 kilometers an hour on the Bolson straight, or De La Salle.
And then
Straight.
what the track organizers reckon, never again.
Yeah, and the organizers said nope, never again.
Well, we can imagine if they were doing that back then, what would the cars do today?
I think it was in like the 1960s when someone did that.
So
And those
obviously,
older cars also could run some high speeds, and power that those cars put out compared to the horsepower of today.
Yeah, those were like 1,000 horsepower monsters that weighed nothing more than a toilet seat. Because that's literally what you're strapped to.
Yeah, exactly.
see, so Yota taking
Well,
the
it's
victory.
good to have a toilet in the car, because at that speed, you're probably going to shit yourself.
Obviously, Toyota took the victory in the LMP1 class. That was actually Fernando Alonso's Toyota. His replacement getting his second Le Mans victory, Brendan Hartley. He's won Le Mans for Toyota, and he's won Le Mans for Porsche, yes.
And a guy who struggled in F1, and they couldn't help to get him out there. They couldn't wait to dump him.
One season in F1.
Yes.
In a Toro Rosso that wasn't that strong that season. So
No, nothing compared to what you see now.
it wasn't like he had the AlphaTauri of today. That Toro Rosso was not in good shape at the time, and he was there at the wrong time, and didn't really get his F1 chance, if you ask me. But he's shown what he can do in world endurance, and then obviously the LMP2s, might know the name, Paul Di Resta. That's nicely done. Nicely done. In between commentary
Mr. Sky,
sessions for
Paul
Sky.
Resta,
That's not bad. In between commentary sessions for Sky, just pop in France and do that little event called Le Mans.
And he did a few of them now.
Anthony Davidson was also there. Anthony
Yeah.
Davidson was chasing.
But 1 year,
Oh.
I think 2 seasons or 3 seasons ago, the rest also had a big shunt.
See, there was also
And
the
he put the car into the barriers there.
the all ladies team, the Richard Mille racing team, started P20 in their class and finished P9. Very nicely done.
For a rookie team, that's very impressive.
And
Yeah.
none of them having prior Le Mans experience. Sophia Flores basically dropped out of a Formula 3 race about 4 weeks ago so that she could go do an endurance somewhere, and that was basically preparation for this. That was her first endurance. Her second endurance was the Le Mans. Tatiana has also done a few endurance, and then Betsy Visser basically didn't know she was driving until like a week and a half before the race, because the original driver broke her leg.
One Pablo also didn't know he was driving up until a few days, hours before the race or something.
See something exciting for
But he did the
for
master
Johan.
course, so it's not like he was a rookie at it.
If you're a fan,
Yeah.
if you're a fan of Juan Pablo Montoya, some exciting news. Basically with the rule changes and the new cars that will be coming out to endurance racing, basically there's a car being built over in the US, and they say that drivers coming from the US are going to have a very, very competitive car come Le Mans. So guys like Juan Pablo Montoya can very well pull off the Triple Crown. So many people forget that Juan Pablo Montoya can also pull that off. He just needs to win one of them.
Yeah.
I think he's most likely to win it before Fernando wins it.
I think he's actually got a better chance. I mean, Fernando Alonso is going to have to win an Indy race, and I mean, you can go to Indy and do everything well, but if he has the experience he had with the first time round with the Honda, there was nothing he could do there. The car just broke on him, and the second time he tried it, he was invisible. We didn't see much of him on track, so I don't know how or when he's gonna win the Indy 500, but I do see a possibility of Montoya winning the Le Mans. Given he's got a competitive car, why not?
But I do owe you an apology though. I spoke out of my arse earlier when I said Aston Martin came in 1 and 2.
Then again, Gavin, what else is new?
Yeah.
1 and 3.
Yeah.
The Friday
Ferrari.
against
Yeah.
the 51. But the 95 Aston won the championship.
Yeah.
Then obviously some more endurance racing or GT3 racing this weekend. Actually got our own Calvin van der Linde. He's going to be, for the first, well, he said so in his tweet, but I presume it's the first time. He didn't need to tweet it. But for the first time in his career, he's going to be taking part in 2 events in 2 countries on the same day. So it's not like he's doing an endurance on the Saturday and then racing on the Sunday. He's going to do an endurance of some sort and then get in a helicopter and fly to Zandvoort and do it again.
But the Zandvoort race, isn't that 3 races? Race 1, 2, and 3. It's 3 on the Sunday.
And this is a wild card entry.
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. But yeah, I think that's quite incredible, flying up and down. That's you really like racing. That's what you want to see.
But I suppose he's doing the support race in the ADAC 24-hour no-Schlaffer race.
Yes.
He's not doing a 24-hour race though. No.
So obviously with that win from Toyota. That's the last we'll see of that car. Bit of a end of an era. They sort of dominated to the point where they sort of killed LMP1 all around them, and LMP1 is no more. So that Toyota's being retired, and when they all come back, things could look very different. I'm actually looking forward to WEC in the new season. Sad to see Kyle Lami's been dropped from the calendar. So it's pretty predictable. All the motorsport calendars that we've been watching lately, they've been trying to stick to Europe, and coming out here did seem like a bit of a long shot. Haven't heard anything about the 9 hour yet, but
I think 9 hours still going ahead, but I think we're going to be closed for spectators.
Yeah.
because the 9 hour is in fact before the WEC was supposed to take place. So if the WEC is cancelled, I don't know. So hopefully we still have it, even if it's closed doors. I'm sure we can have a TnB get together. We'll make a plan. We'll get enough screens up. Just we'll even bring the gazebo. We'll just put it on someone's driveway. We'll make a plan. Or they're gonna have to keep us out of Kyle Army.
Or you can watch it from the balcony.
The balcony of your house. You can just see the every now and then how close.
Or, for instance, I can hear the Porsches, normal road going Porsches, having their track day here at Kalami.
Oh wow. So just down the road from the
Just down the road.
South African home of motorsport. Kailami, obviously Zulu for my home. Yes, that's what Kailami means, by the way. It means my home. So yeah, the area you live in, Mona, it's not very creative. Where do you live? My home. Sounds like the Kimi ad. I stand.
When I drive, I go slow. I take my time.
Or
I take my time.
I take my time. Yeah, no, it's really two big decisions there, and I still don't understand that ad.
So while you're on that subject, and if you're rock, what you think?
So let's Rob saying Rob saying he went for the Bottas prediction because Sochi is a good track or a strong track for Bottas. He
Until Merck tells him to pull over for Lewis.
Yep.
yeah, that's the other thing. We also now entering this. Well, I suppose the championship is in between. You can't really call team orders when the guy in second is Bottas. Do you know what I mean? Like when there was the Schumacher era, there was an excuse for team orders because Schumacher would be leading the championship or fighting for the championship, and his teammate was never in second or third or fourth. He was around. So they could always say, you need to get out the way, Schumacher needs the extra points for the championship, whatever the case is. But you can't tell Bottas to get out the way for Hamilton if Bottas is second in the championship. That just, what are you driving for Merck for then? If, you know what I mean? They can't just tell you to pull over. If you're second, you're fighting for that. So hopefully we see a Bottas resurgence in the second half of the season. Like, we could really do with, we don't need to see more Mercs win, but for the sake of the championship, like three in a row by Bottas, that could really shake things up, and that's exactly what we need. We need a 3 in a row by Bottas, and at the same time, I think that will that'll shake Hamilton up a little bit, because I don't think he'd know what to do going 3 races without a victory, and he doesn't know what he's doing wrong. His teammate's just faster.
Do you remember
That's not something he can do.
face at the end of the last Grand Prix? He looked defeated. It looked as if he was a man that threw everything he had to give, and it's not good enough. And that just shows to me that Bottas will never challenge Lewis this year, next year, whatever year it is. Bottas will never challenge him. Lewis has broken that man before he's even had a chance to challenge him.
It might be a bit rough, but I think that the Bottas people speak about when they speak about Bottas 2.0 or Bottas 3.0, I think that's a figment of your imagination. Okay, Bottas is in the best car on the grid. So when Hamilton has an off day, that is what you think Bottas 2.0 is. It's Hamilton. It's Hamilton. It's Hamilton having an off day and just not keeping up to his teammate, and that's Bottas 2.0. The thing with Rosberg was Rosberg knew how to get under Lewis's skin. He knew how to annoy him. He knew how to get his mind off what he needed to be focused on, and that was enough to win a championship. Could he have done it again?
No.
I don't know. I think that was a season that Rosberg pretty much decided. I think he already knew, if I win a championship, I'm done. And I think at the start of that season, he had been beaten by Hamilton a couple of times, and he was like, this is it. And I think he threw everything into it, and he just stuck to his initial plan, and he left. If I don't think he could have repeated that. Hamilton going back and getting his head straight and actually coming into a season fighting for a title. I think that could be quite dangerous. But Rosberg knew how to get under his skin, and he did it often enough to break him in one season. But Bottas hasn't been able to do that enough over the course of an entire season. You can't do it 3 rounds a year. It really makes no difference.
And look at Monza, when he had the ideal opportunity to take good points out of Hamilton's lead, he was nowhere.
Yeah, basically that race we all loved for the crazy podium, that really should have been a Bottas victory. So, but he was nowhere. He was in 6th place, wasn't making up ground on the cars in front of him, wasn't running away from the cars behind him, and he was just stuck. So I think that goes back to my theory that Mercs aren't designed to drive in dirty air. They're designed to be out front. And I think that's also why it's so difficult for the second car. Think about it. The Mercs don't perform when they're in the midfield. So if you're that car in second, if you're that Merc in second, if that car is so bad in dirty air, if you're Bottas chasing Hamilton, maybe that car is just terrible.
Go back to the first race of the season when Hamilton was behind Bottas. Hamilton was vulnerable. He actually were challenged by other cars. There was obviously the Albon incident, which we saw Albon spinning off a track because of him making contact. But Hamilton was vulnerable.
It's got Rob here in the comment section defending Valtteri Bottas.
Of course he would.
Obviously Valtteri's car has had damage, and I just wish that Rob would defend Bottas's. He would defend his own driving as much as he'd defend Bottas's driving. He never blames the car. He never blames the track. He never blames he just blames himself. He just says I'm not going to say, but we know what he's going to say. With his little emoji, I'm sure he'll put another one up before the stream ends. So next week, just in summary, where are we going? TnB. We're going back to Mexico.
Yep, have to rerun the crazy race.
Formula
Safety car glitch galore that night.
Formula
But since
1.
then, there's been a few updates, so hopefully going back there won't be an issue this time.
Formula 1. We head to Sochi.
Yep.
MotoGP. Muna, remind me, where are we going? Do you know?
Actually forgot now.
I actually can't remember. I know it's a triple header, and it was Misano twice, followed by, and then I'm not sure. So,
Why you put Mona on the spot? Devin,
Is it not
where's
Catalunya?
SSR going?
it's where? Oh yes, it's Catalunya. You're right. We're going to Catalunya. So I think the World Superbikes were at Catalunya last. I think the World Superbikes are either there the week before MotoGP or the week after. So we're going to be able to compare lap times again, like we did with the Reth, and that was actually quite shocking.
Yeah.
That was shocking. Jan, you know the World Superbikes, everybody thinks of them as way slower than the MotoGP bikes, but basically World Superbikes went around Jerez, and then the week later MotoGP had around Jerez, and the pole times were only separated by a second, and we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars worth of extra development. So compared to a chassis you can buy on a showroom. So interesting stuff. Welcome to Daniel, welcome to the podcast, welcome to episode 16. In the 56th minute you're gonna have a fantastic time with us for the remainder.
Take it easy and put that.
Remainder 3 minutes of the podcast, but thanks for joining us anyway. But we'll be putting this up on YouTube later, so if you really want to listen to our lovely voices, you can get that off YouTube.
Bad Uncle Johnny.
Well, I'm not that bad. At least he's got a few emojis there, and he's okay. I can't tell if he's crying with laughter or if he's actually crying. Okay, I hope I didn't make my nephew cry.
No, you're nasty.
Yeah, I don't know if that's crying with laughter or if he's actually in tears. So if I get a phone call from my sister in the next 5 minutes, the podcast will come to an abrupt end.
Oh, you nasty.
Yes, the podcast will come to an abrupt end. So there we go. We've actually got 3 minutes to go, and I've run out of things to say.
Wow.
We've got another 3 guys in here. Does anybody have anything they want to say?
Just ask
Devin, where are we going?
You asked all
What-
the calendars. What about? Just ask Devin. Where's SSR going?
What is happening with SSR? What round are we in? Where are we going next? And is there a new season coming up? What's happening? You can take the stage for the next couple of minutes.
What's it stand for? I think.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I thought it was
No. Good thing you have Mona to back you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the ADAC Nerva 24 hour. So.
Now you care about nothing else, but
Yeah, but it is Zandvoort on Thursday. I'm not sure when the next endurance racing is though.
That's the last round of the season, after the last round of the season.
Okay.
I should be back with internet then.
That would be fun. That would really be fun.
In fact, I'll pull it up here quickly. I've got it. Just give me a second. Endurance races. Where is it now?
Of course, Jonathan might be will probably stream on his own on Thursday, and Devin will stream on his own on Friday, the F1, of course.
Oh yes, you're not here.
I'm not here this week, yes, unfortunately. I will miss both. Unfortunately, no internet.
Not gonna have Johan.
And ask Muna, it takes forever to have it activated.
Yep, I know that struggle.
Gonna be going through a similar procedure end of October, beginning of November. So because I'm moving, so my fibre has to move, and I'm not looking forward to that.
Oh wow, Muna first. Here I am, and now a month for a few weeks after me, here you go. We're taking turns. Devin, when your turn?
When my wife decides she wants to move, she wants another house.
When all four of us had it, yeah, because that was actually relatively in short space.
So I hope I don't have too many issues, and I'm back online in no time. We'll see how that goes.
Because I'm working from home, I need it.
We'll see how that goes, and all I can say is I feel sorry for my service provider.
Can give him a hard time.
Oh yes.
And the funny thing is, Muna, me, and you, we actually have the same ISP.
Yeah. Oh, yes we do.
What?
And that all originated with me, by the way. I should get sponsorship for TnB from. I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not even gonna say their name. Sponsorship first, boys.
Yeah, there we go. I like that.
I
They want their name mentioned, they want me need to sponsor.
Hey?
If they want your name mentioned on the podcast, they need to sponsor first.
Oh no, 100%. I've given them at least another 2 customers. In fact, 3. So yeah, 3 customers. So and you stuffed around 2 of them. So well done.
It's not like I'll be proud to say who my ISP is, even though they've caused a lot of trouble for me.
Unfortunately, no sponsor just yet. So we've got nothing to. We've got no. What's that stupid game they always advertise on the YouTube channels? I don't know.
Some Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah, that thing, and everybody. apparently, if you want to get sponsorship from them, it's very easy. You just really need to email them basically, and yeah. But I'm not gonna be doing that unless Muna wants to. I play this all the time and it's the best. No, you don't.
No.
But
I don't even play mobile games.
Mobile games are the best. Like WhatsApp and the TnB social group on WhatsApp. That was the best mobile game I ever played. It was so brilliant it brought guys to tears. Grown men. But thank you very much for everybody that decided to join us, and thanks for everyone who's gonna listen to this later. Gets a much better viewership once it gets uploaded on YouTube. Thanks to everyone who joined me, Johan, Muna, Devin.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Thank you very much.
We've all had as we were talking here, it's a little block that says got a little block here that says Captain Ice, and a little block that says Devin, and a little block with my name, and then there's a block here and doesn't say Sebastian. It's just got the gif of him crashing in Germany. I've been watching him crash in Germany for the past hour, and it's
hard sore.
It's still good each time. What's a hot sore? That was a I believe that was a TnB rookie. Was it? Was that around 1?
Some idiot.
That was around 1, right?
First race ever with us.
And what's amazing for me was that guy was part of the sign up for longer than he was part of the league. Like all the sign up to get into the league and to pick your car, and this is your teammate, and this is this, and eventually we get to the league 2 or 3 weeks later, and yeah, he did that the first time we got a safety car. So yeah, I would name shame him, but honestly I don't remember his name. I just remember it was it was Josh, but I don't know what, Josh something.
And I use such vulgar language that I will not like to repeat.
Maybe if you watch the video, it'll bring your memory.
Master goodness.
That's almost what you were gonna say. But on that note, before you almost say what you were gonna say, Thank you very much, and
Report
back.
on your stuff.
we'll be back next week for the 17th episode of this. Can you believe it? Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks.
Everyone.
Thanks.